We're rating every single studio album by the Beatles, and today, it's time to take a look at one of the most underwhelming albums by the band, in 1963's With the Beatles. I know a lot of you probably disagree already with me calling the album underwhelming, so allow me to explain. In the discography of the Beatles, you have some of the most incredible albums ever made, which means that an album doesn't have to be bad for it to be underwhelming. The band's debut, Please Please Me, took the rock and roll scene by storm. Some of the catchiest melodies of the early 60s were packed into that album, so when the time came for a new album, expectations were high. And for the most part, this album met the expectations. It also showed signs of growth within the band, especially when it came to the performances. Paul McCartney, for example, was a melodic beast in this album, writing one of the most iconic Beatlemania songs of all time, All My Loving, as well as showing his talent to perform simpler and slower songs like Till There Was You. John, on the other hand, was getting more and more aggressive and confident with his lyrics. The song Money or It Won't Be Long are great examples. Rock and roll was known to have a very specific formula, but John twisted it and modified it to his liking, writing songs that had both the euphoric energy of rock and roll and the catchy melodies of other genres. However, even though everything points to this album being a major improvement from the previous one, you do have quite a few moments and decisions that hurt the album's quality. Overly aggressive mixing of the vocals, percussion overwhelming the instrumentation, and poor decision making when it came to deciding which songs made it into the album. For example, Ringo's I Wanna Be Your Man feels off-tempo and amateurish. George's first song with the band, Don't Bother Me, suffers from terrible production and questionable percussion. The covers the band picked feel distant from the songwriting of John and Paul. The track list feels unorganized. There's no cohesiveness, and the vibes jump from one end of the spectrum to the other. And mind you, even with all these problems, this is still an amazing album, but it's really hard not to point them out when the band made multiple other albums that are way better. So, even though I love this album, I can't do more than a 7 out of 10, which is not bad, but for the Beatles, it's definitely low.